Hi, this is R.N. Bhaskar from BKBB, which is an acronym for Bhaskar Ki Business Bate. This is a channel which brings to you every week a policy analysis or a story or sometimes a conversation. But at this time, we bring to you daily or every weekday, we bring to you an analysis of news, what we like to call news behind the news. And today we're going to talk about some major developments that are both disturbing and could be encouraging, depends on how you look at it. But before I begin, let me request you to click the subscribe button. And if you like our program, click the like button. They help us. And most of all, please tell your friends and all the people you know about us. We need to grow. We've crossed 30,000. We have several times more to grow. And first of all, let me begin with an apology. I know I'm about a few minutes late. We'll try to be on time next time. And I have my co-anchors with me who are Isha. Welcome, Isha. And I have Anurag. Good to see you, Anurag. And together, three of us will try to analyze some major news items. For me, the news item that we're going to talk about is given on the screen. Look at the three titles that we're going to talk about. The first is on 100 days of Trump. What has it meant for the world? The second is on the way Canada has got a new chief. And the third is on Care Edge and its ranking of states and which state comes in where. But let's go to my story. In the 100 days that Trump has been in charge, you've seen many things happen. One of the battlegrounds was chip manufacturing, semiconductors. Trump banned the export of these to China, and it tried to get American chip makers out. As a result, China itself started manufacturing chips. All contributed to Sony deciding to get out of the chips business. It has become too turbulent, too unpredictable. And the 100 days of Trump has meant that even though Elon Musk tried to help Trump out, Elon Musk's own fortunes climbed down. And so did the valuation of his Tesla shares. Making Elon Musk's life a little more difficult is the emergence of a new rival in the form of Amazon's Kuiper, which is also getting the satellite space business. And if that is not enough, we just heard news about UPS planning to shed some 20,000 jobs and informing them that it's not viable to keep so many employees anymore. All this means that Trump's plans to make America great again is actually making America shake. And as a result, you can see why America's confidence is falling and why America's expectations are also falling. Look at this chart. The chart is frightening. And then you have a US government spokesperson coming on CNBC and saying, well, it's a fragmented world. It's a world where nothing makes sense. It's a world where we have yet to find out what the pattern is. Everything is chaotic. Everything is fragmented. And in this fragmentation, most Americans say that they've lost confidence and they've lost hope. Expectations are low. This is a 5-year low. You can imagine what America is going through. And if that is not enough, America has one more challenger as its neighbor, and that is something Isha is going to talk about. Isha, could we have you?
Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining me. The headline I'm bringing you today is from the New Indian Express and it's titled Canada Elections. Our old relationship with the US is over, says PM Carney after Liberal victory. So, in his victory speech after winning the general election in Canada, the newly elected Prime Minister Mark Carney announced to his supporters that the country's old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over. This relationship, that emerged post the Second World War, has supported the growth and prosperity of Canada, but Carney now declares it over. We have to look out for ourselves, and above all, we have to take care of each other, he says in this address. In light of Trump's threats of a trade war and announcements about making Canada the 51st American state, Carney told cheering supporters in Ottawa, "We will win at this trade war." Furthermore, he warned citizens about challenging days ahead because of Trump's tariffs and annexation threats, saying, "We are over the shock of the American betrayal, yet we should never forget the lessons." He emphasizes the importance of building sovereignty and diversifying trade, which one can assume will be key to Canada's trade and international relations strategy going forward. Canada has been an active and vocal opposition to Trump's tariffs. Let's see how this change in power will affect their trade relations and, as an extension, the global economy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this story, sir. Thank you.
Isha, you're absolutely right. Canada has had the rawest end of the stick from Trump, and not surprisingly, the man who wanted to demolish all of Trump's strategies has emerged as a victor in the Canadian elections. What is going to be interesting to see is whether Canada will go ahead with this 25% tariff on electricity exports to North America. Trump has already blinked and has said that he'll soften the tariffs for the automobile sector because of a huge pushback from industry. But Canada has a few other weapons up its sleeve. It may decide to stop all exports of oil to the US and export them instead to both China and to Europe. Watch the Canadian space. It's going to be very interesting. Okay, and that brings me to the third story, which is by Anurag on what happens in India.
Good morning. Today's report is about an India state ranking report of 2025 published by Care Edge Ratings, which is a leading credit rating agency and a research firm. In this report, Maharashtra secured the top position among large states, securing the highest overall score of 56.55, highlighting its financial market strength and industrial diversification. Goa dominated smaller states with a score of 62.1, leveraging tourism linked infrastructure and governance reforms. These rankings that you see on the screen right now are given based on some critical key performance indicators such as economic, fiscal, infrastructure, financial development, social, governance, and environment. And each of these pillars are supported by 50 indicators. The weightage differs in the same order, with economic being the major pillar having 25% of weightage and environment being the lowest at 5%. Gujarat secured the second position in the overall rankings, supported with its leading economic rank and favorable fiscal and infrastructural outcomes. Speaking on the economic front, Sikkim ranked the highest in the Group B, and it's aided by an upbeat performance in the per capita GSDP and higher industry and service in gross value added, which is also known as GVA. The northern states of Punjab and Haryana occupy the top ranking for infrastructure on account of better scores in per capita power availability, railway density, and net integrated area. But both these states lagged in the social infrastructure with lesser pupil teacher ratio and lack in doctor availability. Andhra Pradesh topped the governance pillar supported by better scores on business environment, court rate, completion of court trials, and strength of judges in district and subordinate courts. Whereas the southern states like Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu stood out in the environmental category. This report gives us a clear picture where each state currently stands based on the 50 indicators, which could be a motivator for some states and could be alarming for others. What's your take on this, sir?
Thank you, Anurag. The carriage analysis is very interesting, but I wonder what made Goa get 60 and Maharashtra 56. It just means that Goa did some things which got it higher marks. Secondly, I wish more weightage had been given to the social factor, because without the social factor, none of the others will work. The deteriorating communal record of both Maharashtra and Gujarat, the way we have gone about invoking communal discord in both these states, threatens to pull down almost all the other parameters automatically. And that is something which ought to have been given a higher weightage. But yes, it's a good indicator of why states need to buck up on almost all the parameters. Very well done. And thank you, Anurag, for bringing this to our notice. Thanks again. And that, in a way, brings us to the end of today's discussion. And just before we go on to questions and answers, can I request you to please subscribe if you're not subscribed already? And click the like button if you like what we talked about. And finally, tell everyone you know about us. We need to grow because we think we are doing things that the country needs to know, because that is the way countries grow. When more information is put before the people and they can analyze and judge and take decisions in which direction to go. Let's see the questions. I have the first question coming in, and the first question is, do you see Trump reversing his stand? First thing you have to know about Trump is that he's unpredictable. So whatever I say may turn out to be untrue, and whatever Trump says he's going to do today, he may undo tomorrow. Anything is possible, but the pressure, the whiplash against Trump's policies has been ferocious. Already, Walmart has said to Chinese companies to bring back some of the goods, even with the tariffs, customers will pay for it, because customers like something that is good, that is reliable, and even after the tariffs, they may turn out to be cheaper than America-made goods. And that is something more that people need to remember. And yes, that brings me to the second question. And the second question is, will Canada win against America? Well, remember, when a country is tenacious, even a small country like Vietnam could win against America. Canada is large. Canada is capable. And Trump made a mistake of trying to say it would make Canada the 51st state. It's a lesson that he'll regret. And there's a third question on Maharashtra. Maharashtra remains number one, but is losing the speed at which industry grows. Yes, you're right. Industrial growth has suffered, but that's primarily because other factors like education, like health services, and even social harmony have also suffered. The second these suffer, every other parameter starts falling, including industrial growth. And of course, there's one more reason. Maharashtra allowed the central government to take away some of its most important industries. The finance sector, the International Finance Center was shifted to Gujarat. The diamond boots was created in Gujarat, and the gold boots was also sent to Gujarat. That also hurt Maharashtra. Anyway, that finishes today's talk. Thank you very much for being with us. Have a wonderful day, and please be here tomorrow morning at 8:15 sharp. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care.